What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of KozMatt's Wrestling Recap. Let's get right into a very entertaining episode of Monday Night Raw and night two of the draft. What did you think of the show, Matthew?
It was great. The way they opened up SmackDown was the way they opened up Monday Night Raw, and it was the perfect way to open it up. Triple H kicking off the show by announcing the first draft picks, headlined by Rhea Ripley to Raw and Austin Theory to SmackDown. So both champions swapping brands. It's going to be certainly interesting. I don't know. I wonder what they're going to do. Rhea Ripley on Raw, man. That follows with Judgment Day on Raw. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Judgment Day's been on Raw for quite some time, but Austin Theory to SmackDown is going to shake things up a little bit. So it'll be cool to see what Theory challenges and who's going to challenge Theory for the championship on the blue brand. From there, actually, Paul Heyman being introduced by Triple H for a promo that was interrupted by Seth Rollins, and then Solo Sikoa came out, basically creating a crazy ass main event for tonight's Monday Night Raw. Good promo between these, just kind of setting up a main event, which didn't disappoint Seth Rollins and Solo Sikoa. So we'll get to that. But once again, it was Raw selecting Rhea Ripley, the SmackDown Women's Champion. SmackDown selecting United States Champion Austin Theory. Raw then selecting Seth freaking Rollins, and then SmackDown selecting Charlotte Flair. Triple H did reveal, though, quickly before we go to our next segment, Brock Lesnar has renegotiated his status as a free agent and may appear on any brand at any time. Let me just say, Paul Heyman was kind of taunting the WWE Universe, saying, acknowledge Tribal Chief, who could be the new World Heavyweight Champion. If Roman won that championship, I think everybody would go absolutely apeshit and would hate him more than I think the Young Bucks hate CM Punk.
Oh, absolutely, man. Paul Heyman knew how to get the crowd hot and on their feet. Excellent way to kick off the show. Like I said last week, I think the incorporation of the draft on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown really helped boost up the show. But Paul Heyman was on one tonight, man, and he definitely got the crowd pumped up.
Speaking of boosting up the show, let's talk about a team that needed a little boosting up, and that was Damage Control. Bayley and Dakota Kai, actually, who took a W over the women's tag team champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. So it was a non-title match. But let me just say the determination with Bayley to get a championship win and remain in the spotlight as Kai and Io Sky kind of, flirt as their own singles aspirations kind of go underway. It was cool to see the team of Bayley and Dakota Kai get a W. So I don't know. I do see in the future, though, possibly Bayley and Io Sky having a feud. But it's going to be interesting to see Damage Control. Excuse me. But let me just say, what does this mean for Io Sky, right? Like I was just talking about, could we see some possibility with a match conspicuously happening after BackLash, right? A big title match against Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair. Could we see them maybe some jealousy with Bayley? You know what I mean? I don't know, but Damage Control, man, I know they're not going to remain intact after BackLash. Definitely no way.
Yeah, I could see this match going one of two ways. Either Damage Control costing Io Sky the championship match, and that starts their separation. Or we could see a surprise with Bianca Belair going to SmackDown, Io Sky winning that championship, man. It's not out of the realm of possibility. She's been on a heck of a run lately, and I think she's ready for that main event scene.
I think so. Ready for main event scene. It's these two teams that are always main event ready. You know what I mean? Just a random kind of matchup was made official. It was Ricochet and Braun Strowman against Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable, actually second by Maxine Dupree and Maxwell Male Models. They really didn't have much to do with this, though. They actually did. They didn't interfere too much with this. Gable was late on making the save for Otis. Maxine Dupree and the nut jobs, Maximum Male Models, kind of requesting Otis to recruit into their little sheen. So let's kind of mess with them a little bit. Braun Strowman and Ricochet earning a nice hard-fought victory. Very well done matchup, but these two teams never disappoint, especially when it comes to Braun Strowman and Ricochet. But let's go to our round two recap for the draft. Raw selecting the undisputed tag team champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Interesting. They're, I feel like they were kind of floating around anyways, just the way it's been with the bloodline, you know what I mean? So it doesn't do much for me. SmackDown selecting the Usos. Okay. So now we know.
Separating the bloodline.
Except the bloodline is no longer going to be with the same team as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Roman and Solo on Raw, and then the Usos on SmackDown. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. So you know what? I think we're going to see a team that we're going to mention later on. Hopefully, go against the Usos. But I know there's a few teams from NXT that are drafted. So hopefully, maybe they'll get a chance You know, that'll be cool. But I don't know if Trips has that up his sleeve quite yet. Maybe it's going to be a team that's already been on the roster for quite some time. But then let's go again. Raw selecting the Judgment Day. I didn't expect anything to change there. And then SmackDown selecting LWO, Latino World Order. Don't really care too much about that. But you know what? Let's see what Judgment Day has cooking up. You know what I mean? They're all together. Rhea Ripley, she made it sure that everybody knew she was going to cause havoc if she split up with her family.
Oh yeah, they can't split up from mommy there. There'd be hell to pay. But no, this draft certainly shakes some things up like we all expected, and I can't wait to see these storylines that come off of it.
Yeah, I think so too. So our next segment of the night, it did it for me a little bit. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything crazy. Cody Rhodes halted by security. Actually, he was unable to beat down Brock Lesnar. He did get into the ring as Brock Lesnar was out in the ring. He actually delivered a shot to the face of Brock Lesnar ahead of their BackLash clash, I guess you could say. But Brock Lesnar down in the ring, out of nowhere, Cody Rhodes comes out and it hits him with a nice little blow. Basically, Brock Lesnar threatening Cody Rhodes' well-being before BackLash. Just more hype towards it. I don't think we're gonna get anything Friday. I'm not really sure, but this is cool. Pierce was out to try to get everything in order, but it just did not work his way. And then Rhodes just attacking Brock from behind. It was just great. And then getting a shot on Brock Lesnar before security just kind of made the save before it could get more out of hand. But it was a nice call. Nothing too spectacular. Moving along, Matt Riddle versus Jay Uso. Jimmy Uso found himself going it alone after Jay Uso was booted from ringside. So, it didn't go well. It really didn't go well for the Usos. But Uso actually fell to Matt Riddle. He took a W, Riddle defeating Uso. This was certainly interesting. You know what? I think it was the right call. They don't have much momentum. I really think Paul Heyman is slowly working against them, something that was on full display in a backstage segment earlier involving Solo Sikoa. But Riddle defeating Jay was a crazy call, man.
Absolutely. I think it was the right call as well. Matt Riddle building that singles run. I think we're all ready for him to get that big push on Monday Night Raw.
I think so.
It's going to be interesting to see what Paul Heyman's got up his sleeve. We all know he's a mastermind behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think so. Mastermind. Let's talk about Mastermind. Let's talk about absolute garbage.
Oh,
so we have a draft 4. We'll get to that. So Raw selecting Trish Stratus. SmackDown selecting Karrion Kross and Charlotte. Raw selecting Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Whoop-de-frickin-do. And then SmackDown selecting LA Knight. Interesting. Cool call.
Him and Austin Theory going to go at it for that United States Championship.
You know what? I was going to say that too, but that would be cool. That would really be something. And you know what? I really want to see Theory's reign keep going. Give us a few more months, but I don't know. But there's a lot of talent on SmackDown, so it's going to be cool to see Theory go up against some new accredited talent. But let's talk about Shinsuke Nakamura on Miz TV. Shinsuke's return on SmackDown was well done, but his appearance on Miz TV was absolute trash. The segment was garbage, to be honest with you. I was looking through Twitter and everybody was just pissed off about it.
The only funny part about it was
supposed to help kind of, enhance the Shinsuke Nakamura is returned. He's the Shinsuke Nakamura, but he basically just brought up the Tiny Balls punchline. It was just a watered down version of something that we just last time saw him on TV. So I don't know, man. Hopefully, when he battles Karrion Kross, I don't know. It didn't do it for me, but I'm interested to see Karrion Kross and Shinsuke go at it down the road.
Absolutely. I think that has the potential to be a great rivalry. Triple H has got a good head on his shoulders, which I think he does. I think that'll be the direction that he goes in.
I think so. Direction that he goes in. Let's talk about Omas. What direction is Omas going in?
Oh, boy.
Right? Like what? Just squashing a local talent, Anthony Alanis. I guess I don't know how to say his name. Anthony Alanis. Just basically another jobber. What is the point of this? It was basically 2 seconds long. Omas battle, Seth Rollins Saturday at BackLash. Like, what is this doing?
The definition of filler for sure.
Horrible. Round 5 of the recap. This was the best thing yet. Raw selecting Ricochet and Braun Strowman. SmackDown selecting Shotzi. Raw selecting Bronson Reed, who will continue to enhance absolute chaos on Raw. and then Pretty Deadly being drafted to SmackDown from NXT. So very cool. Very cool. Pretty Deadly, the Pretty Boys, or whatever you call it.
New
I
tag
don't
teams
know.
on the
Elton
roster. I
Prince and
like
Kit
it.
Wilson, I think they are, right? Yeah. But you know what? Very, very good team. Very, very good team. Next, we have a what was it? A mixed match tag team match. LWO versus what? The Judgment Day. Zelina Vega, Rey Mysterio, and Escobar versus I think it's Dominic, Rhea Ripley, and Finn Balor. The faction of LWO capitalized on some certain advantages that you know what I wasn't expecting, and they kind of looked a little bit weak here, but it was a solid matchup. Judgment Day took the W over LWO. They took a loss, but Judgment Day took the W, and I think it was the right call for Judgment Day to take the win here. But Dominic, he was booed out of the arena before this matchup when they were picking up a mic just to kind of, enhance their blood into the Raw crowd.
Oh, the crowd was definitely hot tonight. They carried it throughout the show. They made their voices heard, and they were not fans of Dominic tonight for sure.
No, they weren't a fan. And, whatever. I'm not a crazy fan of the draft, but you know what? I think it's just gonna hopefully enhance some new storylines. I don't really care who's being drafted where, just give us better storylines. And after Backlash, I just hope for new, fresh faces, and I just hope for new, fresh storylines. You know what I mean?
You and me both.
But before we go to our main event, it was a good main event. It was a good main event. There was a takeaway that I don't want you guys to miss out. But let's go to our last round of the draft. And there's going to be, I think, another draft round, or I guess you could say the last actual round for WWE's 2023 draft. But our last round of the draft for Raw, actually, Raw selected Alpha Academy, so Otis and Gable on Raw. SmackDown and selecting Rick Boogs, cool. And then SmackDown selecting Cameron Grimes. That was very, very cool. I didn't expect that to come. And I also did not expect the longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions, Raw selecting Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. But cool. I'm all for tag teams.
Absolutely. Bring some new faces up to that division. Hopefully I think the tag team titles getting separated with
I think that's the right call.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Hopefully we'll have two different sets of tag team champions that we could see some great teams fight over.
Hopefully, I'm hoping as long as Vince ain't running things, man, that's all I care about. That is all I care about. Main event time. Solo Sikoa. The way they've been booking him, I think it's been very strong, as the Bloodline's enforcer. And it's been shown, especially with the cracks in the foundation of the Bloodline, him kind of being the one to hold it together. He's kind of the one getting the reps in, is the best in the business, the best in the team of the Bloodline, I guess you could say, alongside Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins. Seth actually hoping to get a W, and that's exactly what he did. He defeated Solo with a disqualification. The match was a good few minutes. There wasn't anything crazy. The match was brought outside and then brought back inside. I guess what happened is the Usos attack Seth Rollins out of nowhere, and then basically Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out and attack the Usos, and we're going to get a 6-man match at Backlash. Rollins obviously defeating Solo Sikoa, via disqualification with the Usos, and then, of course, Riddle coming out to help Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn alongside Seth Rollins. So it's going to be cool. The Usos versus KO and Sami Zayn and Riddle. But let me just say, what is Seth Rollins doing here when he's taking on Omas? Like, what are we doing, man?
I hope he just squashes him. If Omas picks up the win, there is going to be a riot at Backlash in Puerto Rico. And
going to be a disaster.
We got Backlash this weekend. I thought it was a decent go-home show for Monday Night Raw, including the draft, wrapping that up.
You know what? It was a good go-home show, and I think SmackDown. I hope that sells too. But there's not much more hype you can do to build up this pay-per-view that's kind of just thrown together after WrestleMania. I think they're just trying to inject some new talent into the roster on Raw and SmackDown, both rosters, and then hopefully start up some new feuds. Because I'm ready after Backlash. Give us new.
Absolutely. One thing's for sure, KozMatt will keep you guys updated on all the wrestling info you need coming out of the draft and certainly coming out of Backlash. Let us know what you think about today's Monday Night Raw. Always like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Until then, peace out. This has been KozMatt. Thanks for watching.